Good morning and welcome to Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. This group gets together once a week on Tuesday morning to share experiences and information and provide support and do business together and find ways to learn from each other, etc. My name is Lowell Ann, and I've been in business since about 1995, and I love helping people get to where they want to go in their business. So I think the first order of business, as usual, is to do some introductions. We'll all introduce ourselves and what we do in our business for the benefit of viewers on the outside. So, and I usually start at one end or the other, and so I think, Anne, you were first the last time. So,
yes, I
was. So, Santina, how would you like to introduce yourself? And welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a long time since I've been participating. My name is Santina Kerslake, and sorry that I don't have my name underneath, but for some reason the Hangout tools don't work today. I am with the Niche Factory, and I am a coach, an artist, and a writer. And what I help people do is basically help people find their purpose for their business or their life, but mostly business. Life kind of interferes with that too.
Right on. So thanks, Santina. And Nathan, you're next in line.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Nathan Siegel. I've been around business for a long time. My main gig for the last 16 years has been working as a writer for business, mostly writing software tutorials. And I guess you could call me a course designer.
Right on. And of course, for everybody's benefit, you might say where you are at the present time.
Yeah, of course, because of the snob of it, I suppose. Well, the wonderful thing about working, at least in my particular business, is it gives me the flexibility to travel, and I've been doing that for many years. And I'm on this Hangout, but I'm from in between, well, I'm close to a town called La Misión in Mexico, which is in between Rosarito Beach and Ensenada on the Baja.
Right on. Lucky you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. And John, you're next in line.
Hello. Yeah, so my name's John Dunn, and I am very new to the business world. I'm just sort of trying to break into figuring out actually what it is I'm supposed to be doing in life, but my interests or passions have always been activism and all that type of thing. So I'm trying to go from just being an activist to, and life has sort of put me in a position where I've had to decide that, okay, I got to do the self-employment route, and that's where I'm at. So I started off with a book. I wrote a book on specifically how to read and understand Canadian legislation. So that's sort of my first little thing.
Right.
And because of that, I've gotten into the whole thing of trying to promote it and all that. And then I thought, oh, well, this sounds very much like a business, which is something I've been against all my life. And so then, but I thought, you know what? There's a lot of, I'm starting to see there's a really big need for people to know how to actually read legislation and use it. So I'm trying to incorporate that into a business idea.
So there's one of the ways to market business. We were going probably somebody was going to say something about writing a book. Sounds like you did that first.
Yeah, that sort of started that way.
Yeah, right on. Well, welcome, John.
Thank you.
We might mention that this is John's very first Hangout. So I hope that you find this experience rewarding and that you'll come back again.
I appreciate it.
Right. And Jay, you're next.
Hi, my name is Jay, and my company is Affiliate Resources. And I help people get started in the world of online business, ranging from affiliate marketing to creating and starting and promoting your own product. And I'm in Victoria, BC, Canada.
Right. And thank you, Jay. It was Jay's idea for the topic this morning. So, and by the way, I might, for John's benefit, I think I did tell him this morning that I'm in Victoria. Santina is also in Victoria, and Nathan has lived in Victoria. So, Craig, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us where you are?
Well, hi, my name's Craig Hughes. I am in outside of Rochester, New York. I would love to see Victoria. Matter of fact, my wife said, "Hey, honey, there's a conference up there. Let's go. You can come too." She's actually been to Victoria and seen Bouchard Garden. I didn't get to go on that. Basically, I focus on small businesses and getting brick and mortars in my local area online and getting found. That's what my business is. I also do some affiliate marketing online too.
So, what was I was going to mention maybe the conference your wife was speaking about was the one I just attended last weekend, which was the social media camp.
Oh, doubtful. She's a OBGYN, so she was at a medical conference.
Ah, right. Well, welcome back, Craig. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
And Cheryl Ann.
I will unmute just in case it is me with the echo still. So I'm Cheryl Ann Webster, otherwise known as the Boobs and Belly Lady, and I changed the way we see ourselves, and in doing so I changed the way we live. So that's everything from a physical appearance to really having an emotional and understanding of who we are and what we do and who's shaping us. So I have a project that's been touring around for 10 years called the Beautiful Women Project, and it's all about empowering women and girls. That's me, CherylAnnWebster.com.
Right on. Thank you, Cheryl Ann. And last but not least, Ann.
Hello, my name is Ann DeVerti. My company is Visionary Business Solutions, and I help small businesses get started, count their money, make sure they're keeping as much of it as they possibly can, help them figure out where they're making money, or if they are losing money, where that's happening, so they can change things and turn things around. And I have a quick question. For some reason, normally when people speak, their picture pops up, they become the main picture, and that is not happening today. Is there a setting, you guys that are more experienced than I am, that I need to click on?
Who are you seeing right now?
Well, I'm seeing Cheryl Ann because I clicked on her. As people have been speaking, I've been clicking on them, but normally it just automatically pops from.
So if there's a white box around a certain person, just click that person again, the white box will go away, and that should resolve the problem.
You are brilliant, Jay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right on. And I might just tell you a little something about what I do. My business is work style, lifestyle coaching and consulting. I love helping solo entrepreneurs find direction, stay motivated, and build systems that help to promote their business. I host this Success Circle every Tuesday morning, and I also do a 3-part beginners Google for Business program, as well as I have a solo enterprise basic program for people who are solo entrepreneurs and need to get some good business work done. So there's our introductions out of the way now. It's great to have such a big crowd this morning. Love it. So our topic this morning was about marketing in non-conventional ways or alternate ways. There was a little bit of discussion as to what we meant by non-conventional or alternate. So as I was thinking about this topic this morning, the list that went through my mind, I thought, jeepers, there's really nothing alternate or non-conventional about all the things that came to mind for me. The things like books and flyers and all of that. But I began to think that the whole concept of social media and all the various social media platforms, for some people, is still very much a non-conventional alternate way. And as I heard at the conference that I mentioned earlier, there was the social media conference here this weekend, a 3-day conference, and that seemed to be kind of the overall topic, was about the importance or a different way of marketing now, that marketing is not pushing things out, that it's more about creating relationships and using the social platforms in order to do that. So while some of us that are out here and doing this on a regular basis, we don't see it as alternative or non-conventional, but there are lots of people who are still thinking that way, and I think it's going to change. So what about others? Anybody have any idea? Well, I'm going to throw it to Cheryl Ann, because as I said in the green room beforehand, if there was anybody who does things in a non-conventional way, it's got to be her. So say a little bit more about your projects and even your most recent video that you did.
Well, I'll be brief because there's quite a bit. So I feel really honored now that I'm finally successful. Somebody says I'm unconventional, and that's what I've been aiming for since I was born. So thank you for that. Yes, I've always worked the same way. It's when I'm passionate and emotional about something, I will create a body of artwork around it, and that body of artwork is the equivalent to somebody's book. So all the research has happened, interviews have happened, and instead of putting it down in text, I create it in sculptures. So the most well-known body of work that I've done is 120 life-size clay sculptures of women aged 19 to 91, really talking about reality versus what we expect our bodies to look like at certain ages. So, of course, with a project like this and all the other work I've done around adoption, abuse, and loss, it's not very easy to market yourself. People don't quite understand how an artist becomes a speaker. They don't quite understand how I can create all this artwork and never sell any and still bring in an income, and so on and so forth. So, without meaning to, I've had unconventional marketing. My artwork has been put on ceramic tiles and given out as coasters at conferences, which was not my idea, by the way. At first, I was absolutely horrified that people are putting their cups down on my ladies. But it worked. People still have them. They still comment. The information, of course, about how to reach me is on the back of the tile. One of the most successful ones we had was T-shirts, and it was the logo on my own sculpture. Body image is not black and white. And I have driven all over the place and seen people wearing my T-shirts. So it's very interesting. And the exciting part about that is, of course, they're also buying to market me, which is very yummy. T-shirts, there's a sort of caveat with everything that I've created, though, but I can go into that at a later date. So, for example, if you're doing work about body image, T-shirts are not the best idea because, of course, they have to be certain sizes, and it's a bit of a trigger for people. So we moved into shopping bags, which wasn't as fun. Posters, books. What Laurel Ann is talking about is I've been always making videos and taking photographs as part of my research, as part of my own journey for discovery and for capturing stories. But just lately, in the last few months, I've been putting those out there as my own marketing tool. And they're very much me. They're very silly. There's a serious message behind it all, but it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be National Geographic. But you will see me in a swimsuit way too early in Victoria when it's absolutely freezing cold. And to my delight, that 2-3 minute video that have obviously got shared a lot, it's very silly, But the most exciting part is at least 5 different people have contacted me since, saying that they are now going to get ready to put on their swimsuit for the first time in years, sometimes in decades. So my message, I don't care how it gets out there, how silly it is, I'll embarrass myself, I'll just be me, so long as the message reaches who it needs to reach and they have a positive impact in their life.
Wow, that was so. There's a couple of ideas there: the coasters, the T-shirts, and the crazy videos.
Yeah, I would say, to narrow it down, product that doesn't cost you a fortune and hopefully people buy, so therefore they're buying to help market what you do. The speaking is not what I use for marketing because I get paid to speak, but the video blogs, and for me the absolute ultimate has been getting media attention. And when you're talking 120 boobs and bellies, you get media attention.
No kidding.
So when you say 120 boobs and bellies, is that actually 60 people or 120 people?
Well, if you
Just
really want to be accurate, it's 118 women and it's 116 or 17 actual single boobs. It's very complicated. Not all of us have 2.
Got it. Okay, there you go.
Leave it to Jay to do the math.
And if you see the video, Jay, if you see my video, you'll see I've got 3.
Very good.
So some people maybe have 3. So Carolyn, think about scarves. You don't have any sizing issues with scarves.
That's very true. That's the goal next, is to create beautiful scarves out of the designs on the 120 sculptures, because the 120 have become very well known, and it's those same 120 stories that have helped 70,000 people. So it's now a matter of leveraging that into product that I love and is respectful to my message, but also is a product that people will buy and share my stories. So it always has to be multi-level. And there's my echo, so I will go on mute.
So it appears that it's much easier to do something if you're looking at a product or something tangible. Any other ideas? Jay, what about you? You were the suggester of this topic, so I'm assuming that you had some ideas.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things I think everyone needs to kind of quickly touching on the T-shirt idea. There's a gymnastics training place here in Victoria that adopts that same T-shirt marketing technique, and what they do is, which I think is brilliant, is every time someone books a birthday party with them, they get a free T-shirt. So it's their lost leader. And it's really awesome because here's the size, here's your shirt, and it comes in 2 different colors, and it's got their branding on it, and their branding on the back. And when you go around Victoria, and you go to places like schools or something like that, you see these T-shirts everywhere, and he's been doing this for the better part of 10 years, and they're everywhere. So it's just such a great marketing strategy, is using T-shirts, or using something where you're going to get your brand out there. Another thing I saw, which was kind of cool last night, was there's a realtor TV show on Slice TV or something, and the realtor was taking a tour of a development. Right, so the place wasn't finished, but they had renderings. So they were trying to figure out a way how to create a way to show the renderings in as much of a real time as possible. So what the guy did is he bought like 100. Do you remember viewfinders where you have the little disc and you put it in? So the guy bought 100 viewfinders, and he had the photos, the renderings printed on that little disc. And he goes, okay, now stand here, look at your viewfinder, and this is what it would look like. And they see what it's going to look like. And I thought that was just such a brilliant idea in terms of showing what the end product is, And my point is with that one is that you just got to think outside of the box a little bit, or as Craig goes, maybe go around the box, because I think it's when you think of traditional marketing, it's like, okay, well, I'll get some business cards made and maybe I'll have envelopes printed out, and sure, that works, but we've become almost immune to things like that, like banner ads in the online world and business cards and stuff. Like, when's the last time you actually kept a business card and actually used it, or at least the frequency of when you do that? Probably not too often, especially since we live in an online world. I think when it comes to finding, your niche market and doing, niche marketing, or even just general marketing for your own product or service, is you need to determine who your audience is before anything, before thinking outside the box, going around the box, whatever. Know who you're marketing, know your audience, and where does your audience hang out? Who's your audience? Where do they hang out? And if you could figure out those two things, then I think you have a far better chance at getting to your end goal, which is reaching that target market. And because if you can go where they're hanging out and introduce yourself, then you have a far better chance at selling whatever it is that you're selling. Then you can start becoming creative and thinking outside of the box and finding unique ways to attract that audience at that location. So, for example, if you find that a lot of your audience is at network meetings, or focus groups, then go to there, and maybe find something unique to give them. Here, listen, I've got a hat, or I've got a business card, but it's a square one. It's the half of the size of a traditional business card. Even just cut the tips, cut an edge off on, just make it just something tiny that's a little bit different, that makes you stand out amongst the crowd.
That's a really good point, because I made a mistake with some large posters I had made. They were 2 foot by 3 foot. They had all 120 sculptures on them. They were visually appealing, but they were too big. Nobody knew what to do with them. And they shipped. It cost such a fortune. They cost less than $1 to create. And I have to sell them at almost $20 because of the complication of shipping them, and they arrive damaged most of the time. So now they're just recycled. And on business cards, you're right. So my business card is actually a mirror.
Oh,
The idea is, if you don't like what you see when you open it, call me. So.
That's good. That's fantastic.
Some of these things, though, I will say, are very expensive, so it's a risk. So I think Jay hit on a big thing there is really be sure. I was lucky. Lots of people wore the T-shirt. I only had to keep to one color. I had to have 5 different sizes, though, so it was a huge expense. Some things didn't work, like the poster. I will never make the coasters again, but it is. So instead of a 20-cent business card, this can cost me almost $1 each. So I tend to have the paper ones and these, and I hand them out based on whether I think that person is seriously going to call me or if it's going to have an impact on the day. And you also have to watch things like in Victoria, my audience are a little older, and they couldn't get them out of the plastic bag or open them. So
oh, come on.
So it was like frustration packing. So there's lots of things that when you have figured out what your thing is, one, it won't last long before somebody else is doing it, or it's lost its appeal, or does it really work for that particular person, and are you just putting another $1 somewhere that they were just being polite in asking for your card?
Yeah. I see realtors all the time handing out swag, like calendars and funny things like that,
Notepads.
Yeah, exactly.
Bruce McCallum swears by notepads. He sends an envelope with a notepad to everybody once or twice a year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he swears by that. He says that really works well. And of course, there's the other thing is the fridge magnet. That's there all the time, etc.
That doesn't stick to a steel fridge.
Yeah, right. I have heard a number of people, depending on the business, say that just those magnetic signs on their car driving around, they found that lots of people stopped them and asked them, "What's that all about?" Depending on who your target
audience.
client is. Yeah. So
I have a client that uses car toppers. So that's the little taxi cab sign things at the top of the car. They're magnetic, and you can have them light up or not light up. And so it's a service-based business. So that when they go to the client's home, they got this little car topper there while they're parked. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's and they're about $110 each, and you don't need to buy a minimum. So I think that's really good with small businesses where they can just go buy a car topper, or as opposed to a magnetic door sign. But I think you have to realize though when you start adding branding on your vehicle, you have to make sure that your vehicle is clean and that you are a respectable driver. You're not flipping the bird at people, as you're driving by, with the sticker, "How's my driving?"
And you have to check your insurance, because if you don't have commercial insurance, you can get really dinged because you're promoting your car as a business car.
Yes.
We have commercial insurance. We used to have a bright lime green smart car, one of the first smart cars, with our website on, and it got lots and lots of attention, and then everybody has a smart car. So it's, again, lost its appeal, but we had to have commercial insurance because we were advertising. So
Right.
wow.
I do not have commercial insurance, and I've got signs on my car, so.
So it might be worth checking that you're insured, or it could be the difference between Ontario and BC.
Yes,
So,
yes, could be.
Yeah.
Cheryl Ann, you just have to upgrade to a Lamborghini. That's all.
Well, I would say I want a huge we used to have a transport trailer as my studio, and I would love to be able to drive that around with the sculptures bigger than life size all the way around, and then have a permanent exhibit on the inside. Just pull up, get on board, come and see the girls.
Oh, that's a great idea, Carol.
But I also like that little, it would almost be like a peep show, though. I'd have to be careful what Jay was talking about.
Well, they have a new version of those. It's called Google Cardboard.
Do they?
And if you get a 360-degree view made by a Google trusted photographer, they actually will make it stereoscopic so that you can. Basically, you take your smartphone, you put a little bit of software in it so that it gives you dual images. You put it in this little cardboard thing, and it's basically like the
old viewfinders.
Like the old viewfinder.
Oh.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, I think with all of those things, including the things I've tried over the last 12 years, it really is a matter of. So, for example, if I was a realtor, I'd want something specifically about houses, or the mirror is the best thing because it's specifically about changing how you see yourself. So really tying in as tight as possible. So a baseball cap wouldn't work for me, well, maybe two, but it's just it's all those kinds of things. So once you've come up with all the options of because there's so much available. So you can have it printed on a mug, you can do all kinds of things, but once you've figured that out, and then obviously the cost, how much your specific audience is going to use them, how much the payback is, are you spending $10 when you could do with a 20-cent card, or just have, I don't know, laser beam it to them or whatever it is, and then really look at all those factors before going ahead, because there's some really fun, crazy stuff out there that you can do, but is it going to propel your business any further forward?
I have a question for everyone. Is anyone here building an email list for marketing?
I used to, and I deleted it.
Yeah.
I did for a while, but again, well, I deal with small business, but a lot. My ideal client is construction, is subcontractors in construction. Well, they don't want to read email. They don't go to. It's actually quite interesting. I was hoping I might pick up some ideas here with guerrilla marketing, because they don't go to networking. They don't go online. They don't have Facebook accounts. They don't do any of that stuff. These are construction guys. They go to work. They come home. They drink beer. That's
Well, and that we used to advise people who were looking for work in the construction field, go to the tavern.
Yeah, except I don't really want to go hang out there. And the thing is, I'm not looking for the construction worker. I'm looking for the guy that owns the
Owns
business.
the company.
So you mentioned that they go to work and they come home and drink beer. So they obviously have to get their beer at the beer store or at the liquor store. So there's an opportunity to potentially, and sometimes they have their own newsletters. So you can approach the beer store owner and put an ad in their newsletter, or sometimes they have we call it the coffee times things there, at certain locations.
Honestly, I love construction guys. They are not stupid. The guys running the businesses, they do not read if they can help it.
Yeah.
Well, but I think you've summed it up. I mean, as well, we're using a wide brush on one group of people, but I mean, it's if they have to buy the lumber, they have to get new tools, they have to do all those things, and there's nothing cuter than a woman there selling them their next, I don't know, hammer drill or whatever with your logo on it.
Yeah, and I think this is an opportunity to talk about teaming up with other people where your audience is, as I had suggested earlier. If you team up with people who are associated with people who go to their business, then you have an opportunity. Like, for example, right now I'm using a YouTube remarketing campaign for one of my clients, and it is working really, really well. And it's fantastic. So what remarketing is for YouTube is if they go to my client's website, however they reach them, then they go, in a couple days they go to YouTube and watch a video. They will either see a commercial for my clients, because we created a 30-second video commercial, those annoying commercials that you can skip after 5 seconds. Or they'll see an ad for that business as a square banner on the right-hand side. And as a result of that, it's doing. It's like, oh yeah, I remember. I was just there. I was at that website. So it's like it's reminding them, right? Because I mean, the way sales work, at least I've been taught in traditional sales and marketing is that your client typically says no, 7 times or something before they say yes. So you need to almost be doing this to their forehead, But
I like the T-shirt idea. I hadn't really thought about it, but T-shirts are perfect for the guys in construction. They they love free T-shirts because they go through them like mad. So
you can do something like got taxes and then your phone number on the back or something.
Yeah, something like that. Want to make more money? Call in.
I was thinking, and summed it up for me.
What's that?
Oh, I'm still like, and summed it up.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What's funny is we kind of took a minute to think about, like, we thought you meant, she summed up what she was saying. But then you summed it up. Right. That's good.
It's the accent.
Yes, it's a little bit British. It's a little bit British saying and summed it up.
But then if we don't get it instantly, I don't think a construction worker's going to get it.
Probably not.
Well, I'm thinking beer cozies would be a good place to put your.
This is true. Yeah. This is true. I should do a whole bunch and take them to some places and drop them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've gone to suppliers, but really I think something like beer coasters and T-shirts are a good idea for the guys that I'm trying to reach.
Yeah.
Well, or the beer cozy that you put the can of beer into the thing to keep it cold.
Yes. Yeah.
Beer
honestly, they don't use those.
Yeah, or sippy cups kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you need to try. Sorry, Lolan. I think It sounds like you know your audience very well, or at least that one particular segment of your audience.
I do, yeah.
So, you're saying, well, they won't do that. Well, they don't do that, right? And I think there's a lot of assumptions there, But I do understand it is based on your experience, and I think the thing with marketing, and I think Cheryl Ann has done this, is she's kind of gone out on a little bit of a limb and experimented and learned. And I think, and I've certainly learned my marketing lessons. I've certainly lost money in doing various things. You know, and I've learned that I haven't done again, and I'm learning about new things that are working quite well for clients. So, you know, it's leveraging what works and recycling what doesn't. But the thing is, sometimes you have to put it out there. You know, you have to take $100 and or $200 and test the waters a little bit and give it a whirl. You know, personally, I think something for you, Anne, would be a local ad on Google, a Google AdWords ad, very specific to your target market. And it's actually very affordable. You know, there's something called AdWords Express. You can use so that when someone searches, you know, tax preparation Victoria or something related, bookkeeping Victoria, you know, or how to do this, right? Something related, that your ad pops up.
No, that's a great idea, and really I had not thought about t-shirts and sort of some of the obvious stuff, but really they're perfect for those guys. I started out doing social media and I'm like, this isn't working, because I would talk to my clients and they're like, I don't read emails. You know, they're like, I try never to read an email, and they certainly don't go to networking groups. So I was like,
yeah,
you know, whereas new business, it's working well for me. I am definitely finding small business, new business that way.
Yeah,
but my
email marketing
guys are different.
Yeah. Email marketing certainly has changed over the years, you know, whereas, you know, many moons ago we used to be able to effectively write a long email and then read it from top to bottom. Now, you know, because because most of the time they're on the phones, your emails need to be, you know, cut to the chase kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you have to stop doing email marketing. Like, I'm doing email marketing for myself and for my clients. And just adopted the way that people use email and read email, you know, and it's like, here, we're offering this, go check it out. You know, and that's literally as easy it is, you know, and we get huge responses.
Right.
I would just go back to that part, is especially, Anne, if you're looking at t-shirts or any of those things, is it's very tempting when you find a product, and you know, if I print, I think it's 25,000 of these, I get them down to 60 cents, and it's very tempting to print a high number to bring the price down, but just in those early days of testing, it's not worth it. You're better off spending twice as much on just a few. And that way, I mean, we used to print 125 books at a time, and John, I don't know if you're self-published or not, but I would print 125 books at a time. Yes, it made each one a little more expensive because they're full color, but when I got down to 100, I could quickly hit the button to reorder the exact same product. It would be here in time. It was great. And then at some point, I got convinced to print 1,000. And you don't know what's going to happen next. Well, I printed 1,000. Within 6 months, I was on 2 years medical leave, and I still have 600 of those in my basement. And did it save me any money? Maybe it would have done if I hadn't gone on medical leave, if I could have kept pushing through. But you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to be in vogue and out. So just do a few at a time, test it, and test it with your people who you're trying to attract. So your construction guys, throw them a t-shirt or show them the design and say, would you even wear this?
Would you wear this?
And, you know, I've made it pink because it's bright.
Okay, I do know better than that.
I can add sequins. I can tie-dye. You know, what's going to work, right?
Okay, but Caroline, you've been holding out on me. You got 600 t-shirts in your basement?
No, the t-shirts did go. The last probably 100 we converted into shopping bags, and we gave them away with the books that sold. But it was a huge expense. But no, it would be, you know, sometimes it would be the XXX that sold first, sometimes it would be the extra small that sold first, and you'd have hundreds of medium. So it was not the best idea, but a tunic, a scarf, something like that for me would work. But again, I would only print a few at a time to see whether it works.
Yeah. Another thing I just thought of is one quick question. In my office building, there's a guy that does debt consolidation, and he has a guy that he sends people to when they need to have their taxes done. So another opportunity is kind of buddying up with people involved in the related industry, you know, even when it's in a situation where they need to relieve some of their debt, you know, so that could be something that you can look at.
So, John, I was wondering what method you have tried with your book.
Well, I have a bit of a different circumstance, but it's probably not unheard of. I actually have a zero advertising budget. I'm on welfare, so I've had to go unconventional completely in the fact that I literally have nothing. At one point, I spent some food money to get some business cards, which is, it's actually the cover of my book on the card. And then I also went and got one of these we call it fun core boards of the book, so that I can bring it with me. So what I plan to do, at least until I can start making some money, is to go down to, because my target audience is basically university and college students. So I'm kind of lucky in that sense, because all of my potential clients are going to be hoarding off of hundreds of buses at the bus stop in front of the university. So that, for me, is going to be one of my methods, is to actually go down there in the mornings during the mad rush and to hand out my cards, hold my phone core board up, and just, let people know, because it's going to be pretty well, there's three main student bodies I can think of, and that would be political science students, potentially business students, because they need to know regulations and stuff that might affect their business, and law students. So
another area you talked about poli-sci. Have a look at the European Studies Department, because there's a lot of international students there that deal with Canadian law and Canadian politics and stuff. So it could be something more of an interest group there.
Yeah, I've been just kind of also tapping into that with the Twitter. So Twitter, I've gone nuts on actually Twitter, to the point where I'm surprised I haven't been blocked off of it yet. But if that's still deemed today to be an unconventional method, then I'm definitely getting good at it. One thing I do is, because, again, with the budget issue, and this is good for any low-income marketing situations, is it moral? Maybe, I don't know. But it's nothing bad. Just I don't. I feel a little guilty doing it. But if there's a conference, for example, today, all day today, or for a couple of days, there's a conference in Winnipeg, and it's for colleges across Canada. So they have their own hashtag. It's CACAN 15. So that's my way of attending the conference. So what I do is every couple hours I'll tap out my book and say, since the people there are all, and also, what's that guy from the Dragon's Den? One of the younger guys. Everybody knows his name. He was there.
So you're piggybacking off the hashtag.
Yes, that's what. Yeah,
that's a great idea. That's a really good idea. There's no moral issue there.
No, I was going to say, I don't think that's a problem.
No.
Have you established
sponsors, which I would be a sponsor at that event, or renting a table, so I'm getting in there without paying, and I feel bad about that. But that's what can you do?
Are you posting to Google Plus?
I do have a Google Plus account, and I've started a little bit to the hashtags in there as well. The hashtags are extremely powerful. If you're not using them yet, I think they're incredibly powerful.
Oh, Google Plus is using hashtags.
Yes, I just mean individually. Anybody who's watching right now, at home or wherever, that's watching this on YouTube later on, is that it's a powerful thing to learn how to use hashtags. I was surprised how many people don't, and even like large companies and big political type things aren't using hashtags as much as they should be. So they're not reaching their target audiences. Wow.
That's right.
Last week we also had a communication with a gentleman who's doing communities, and in your case, I would suspect that creating a community would be a very powerful aspect for you, the Google community.
Yeah, I did create a community as well called Canadian Legislation. So it's really slow, and I keep hearing from everybody else, and it's hard to grab onto that and believe in it, right? But I've never been in business before, so it's still new to me. To just say, just keep going, don't give up, right? So I'm still in that stage, but
is it hard? Is it an ebook or is it a?
Oh, it's an ebook. That's right. So I don't have physical copies. I do have printed up on Lulu.com, which would, if you ordered it, they would print it and send it to you.
Yeah, I used to be with Lulu. So where are you based?
Where am I? I'm in Ottawa, Ontario.
Oh, you're in Ottawa. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just sending you a message there about a local initiative, but
okay.
yeah, I mean, I know that you're saying it's younger people, but there's also an opportunity there for grandmothers for Africa and go to the extremes as well. I
All
mean, there's
kinds of
so many groups that, are all about the legislative. But yeah.
John,
Yeah,
do
and
you know any
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say seniors are really interested in legislation because once you're on a fixed income, and you're aware of this too, any change can have a huge impact, and seniors tend to be quite politically active at times. I know in Victoria they've got a pretty strong voice, so it isn't just university students, but they are easy to grab in the sense that you know where they are. They've all got to get to that university, so it's a great situation to be able to be there and know that that's who's coming past you is all that target market. It's great.
Right. Yeah, and I haven't tapped into the seniors market. My assumption, and I guess somebody said earlier, don't sort of assume you know your audience all the time, is that they're older, therefore they've already done it and they know this is intro level stuff. So, but you're right, there's going to be some who just don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think as well, it's when you meet people off the bus, it would be great if you could give them something. Now, students are much more trusting, so depending on how much your ebook is, if it's $5, $10, $10, so you could probably have the link for it to download straight away. I don't know, or they'd have their device with them. They could
Yeah, I've got it.
right, rather than go away, think about it, and then hand over money.
So that would be a really important thing for that group is to figure out how to do it from a mobile perspective. Absolutely.
Yeah. And another unconventional method I've been using, it's a business card thing, but there's the method to it is I actually take these, I got 1,000 or so printed, and when I'm sitting on the buses, I'll put it in the little rubber seal of the window. So I'll have beside me about 3 or 4 cards I stick in the little on an angle. So I got 3 or 4. No, I just do that. I leave them on bus seats everywhere, and what else have I done? The donut shops in the morning when there's a massive lineup, I'll go along as I go through the line. Along the bar part of it, I'll drop a card, drop a card, drop a card, drop a card. So people come in, and it looks like, what's that? I see all these cards, and I grab one. So there's some attention coming to it a little bit that way. And it is a government town, so I'm in the perfect city for this.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, John, because it's your first Hangout, you might not be aware that there's quite a bit of chat going on the side for you, including some links that you might want to look at later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thank you. And I haven't said my website either. I'm just going to throw it out there now while I got the chance.
Please do.
Okay, so it's johnsinformation.com. And that's where you get my book. I'm also going to be giving tutorials and whatnot on there, little things on how to find court rules. I have some YouTube videos up and things like that. Thank you.
Right on. So we lost Santina somewhere along the way.
That's right.
And Nathan, but I think maybe the echo is just too great.
Yes, right. Well, I'm looking at the time. I usually aim for 30 minutes, but the conversation just went on, and so I think that there were some really good ideas shared here. One thing that I might throw out is it's always so much easier to promote something that's tangible, but when you have a service to promote, it's always more difficult to figure out what a good non-conventional marketing way might be. I remember at one stage of the game, I used to at networking events, I used to give out a sort of a hard-covered journal for a draw because I was aware that a lot of solo entrepreneurs carried around a journal. But in this day and age where we're trying to get people to use social networking and online, sometimes I'm a little reluctant to promote that now because there are so much better and more efficient ways to be journaling sometimes. So
iPad Mini.
Right. I still use journals. Sometimes I just need to get away from the computer, but But
here's one last one. I just realized I've been writing with this whole time. For me, anyway, a pencil that's got the information on it.
oh yeah.
Now, the pens have been done to death. I would love a paintbrush or something like that. But, of course, the pencil's great so long as you keep the information to this end and not to this end.
Right on. So I'm thinking that it's time for us to close down now and have a little conversation in the green room in terms of what our next topic will be, etc. I do want to take this opportunity to announce to everyone that I have finally set up my Google Plus community.
Hey!
Just put it up yesterday, and so I put this. I have well, how did I do that? Shared this particular Hangout on there. And in the future, I'm going to be trying to host these Hangouts from within the community. And so we did talk about the advantage and why we would want to have a community last time. But as time goes on, maybe, John, you and I could keep track of the things that we're finding that are working and for promotional purposes and how to bring people in. One of the biggest pieces that I've learned about Hangouts within a community is that you can create a bit.ly short link, and then you can post that on various other platforms so that other people can come in from elsewhere without having to learn all the Google stuff.
And if someone doesn't know, just in case, some people might not know what Bitly is. So.
Oh, yeah. Bitly is a URL shortener, and the group that I've been in touch with, they recommend that one as opposed to the Google shortener, and there's several others out there. And so you can create sort of a custom one. So that was something that I also did yesterday. So
it's because the Google Communities address is so long, right? It's so complicated. So you paste it into the Bitly thing, and then it creates a tiny little URL that you can share.
Yeah. And from what I understand, that if you want to attract or want to be able to promote on Facebook, if you have a Google address, they won't accept it. But if you use a Bitly, they do. So. So I think we're right almost on the hour here. So I think we'll close down now. And I thank you all for a very interesting conversation this morning. It's got the wheels turning in my head for sure. And we'll see you all next week. So this is Lola Land, Work Style Lifestyle Coach, signing off for now.